Well, folks, it's August. Been a little while since I talked with you. We just got back from vacation about 36 hours ago, and let me tell you, been gone about 9 days. We had to jump back into things quickly. Lots of things to get done. First thing we had to do is break this thing down. It's getting shipped out either to tomorrow or Thursday. We had to take several units and the extensions off the wings so it can be below the legal height limit to get it shipped. And then of course my cotton scout called me before I'd even had a chance to wake up Tuesday morning. Had a long list of things to spray. So after we got the drill broke down, we got all of our cotton sprayed. Andy's working on the last load now. So anyway, before we get started on the next project, I gotta get this all cleaned up. But while I'm getting cleaned this up, I'm gonna play a few clips for you from vacation. We were very fortunate enough to be able to take a cruise to Alaska, and my gosh, it exceeded all expectations. You talking about just absolutely stunning. Alaska is beautiful. If you've never had the chance to go visit Alaska, I highly recommend you do it. It's definitely well worth the trip. So anyway, while I get this cleaned up, I'll play those clips, and then I'll bring you back and show you what else we got to get into.
Welcome to Alaska.
Our first view of Alaska. 52 degrees out here and absolutely beautiful.
It sucks.
I don't think the natives approve of our presence.
Look at this thing. That's like Carter's head. I could use this back home when it's 98 degrees outside.
Well, the saying's definitely true here. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
boys are still asleep, so I guess I'm gonna go up top and get tired.
Well, with it being August, and heck, the first week of August is almost gone. Harvest is going to be upon us before we even know it, and we got a lot of work to do on equipment and make sure everything is ready to go for this harvest so we don't have any problems. So first thing we're going to be looking at is the combine, and everything is running perfectly when we got done with wheat. We got to change over to corn, but there is one problem that I've been noticing the last couple years. When we got done with the wheat harvest this year, and also fall harvest last year, I noticed on here on the inside of the rim, we done cleaned it up, but it was caked up real good with hydraulic oil, and that could be several things. We could have a leak out of the input shaft here, which I don't think that was the cause, because all the oil we saw was pretty much on the front side here. Last time it happened, we had a drain plug loose, and well, that might be the problem here. That's finger tight. That could definitely be the problem. I tightened it up good last time, but apparently it's worked loose before. The third thing could be is that final drive here is going out. So just to put my mind at ease, we're going to pull this outside dual off, jack it up, and see if we can feel any kind of play in this tire right here. If we feel play in there, we know we got to rebuild that final drive. Hopefully that won't be the case, but we'll know for sure here in a little bit. We really about to put that sucker to the test. Yeah, our 3/4 wouldn't have done that.
Oh, if it had some jerk behind it, it definitely would have been there for a minute. Ooh.
Try going the other way with it.
Oh, goodness.
We'll have to come back to that one. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. We have found a task for it. The top ones are loose.
Okay, anyway, it's the next morning. Some of these bolts are being real stubborn, and ran the batteries down, charged them up overnight, and still got a couple, just they ain't gonna have it, are they?
They're not wanting it. They're gonna have it, but they're not wanting it.
Yeah, give her a few more ugga-dugs, and then we might break out the pipe. All right, truck just showed up. Ready to load this bad boy up. Let's see if we can get her backed up there. Yeah, got it all loaded on there. Well, guys, that's going to be all you're going to see of the Borgo drill. It is headed up to Owensboro, Kentucky for the canola planting season. I believe it's going to be, believe another farmer's demoing it up there. And anyway, wish him the best of luck. I really enjoyed getting to use this thing last fall. It did me a great job. Unfortunately, I just really didn't have the proper equipment to pull it. Anyway, I want to give a big thanks to Borgo for allowing us to demo that drill last year. I hope I did y'all a good job and portraying it and talking about what it did right and the few things that could be improved upon. So anyway, this fall it's going to be back to our old John Deere 1560 box drill, getting our cover crop and our wheat planted. And speaking of which, as soon as we get done with this and our corn header, probably need to get it down shop and run through it because we ain't used it in 2 years. All right, we don't have to do very much to get this thing changed over for corn. Pretty much all we got to do is just change the concaves out and do a couple other change the concaves out. All we got to do is pull 2 bolts out, drop the nuts on the ground. Bring them out like that. And then we just got to slide the new one in. Alright, you can tell the difference on these two concaves. These are the round bars that we run in corn, and then these are the small wire concaves that we run in wheat. So there's a lot less gap for grain to fall through with the small wires, and it holds the straw and stuff up around the rotor a whole lot better. Whereas corn, you know, we don't have all that straw and stuff. We just wanted to keep the cobs from coming through, and those round bars let a lot more got a lot more area for the grain, you know, higher yielding corn to fall through. Plus, with these bars being round, if there's any kind of moisture, especially the silks and leaves of the corn plant, that kind of stuff can kind of really get hair pinned in when you're using large wire concaves, and it can plug all this up and, you know, give you less area for the grain to separate out. So we've had really good luck with these round bar concaves for several years now, and that's what we run on corn. And then when we get done with corn and put beans in, you know, we're not going to put the small wires back in, but we'll put in something that looks similarly small wires, but there's a lot more gap in between these wires. We call those large wire concaves, and we'll use those on our soybeans. All right, I thought we didn't have much to do to it, but then I walked around and I seen something I forgot about. You see anything wrong with this picture? What about now? Yep, this chain right here has jumped a tooth on the sprocket back there, so we'll have to loosen it up and try and get this chain one tooth back to where it's not putting all that in a bind right there. All right, we got all the tension off of our feeder drum here. The chain got plenty of slack. Hopefully now we'll be able to get it to jump a tooth, but and loosen all that up, we found some more damage. Whatever came through and caused it to jump a tooth bent my draw bolt right here that adjusts the chain tension on the feeder chain, and also bushing back up in here broke it in half. So looks like I want to go get some parts. All right, I just found out I gotta go to Union City, all the way to Union City to get the parts. Yeah, so it'll take me a couple hours to get back. So while I'm gone on this right here, see where it's bent, need to take it off and see if we can straighten it out. This flap right here, take it off. I'm going to have to fashion a piece of metal to hold that back in there, and then need to check all the grease in the gearboxes. Now, you remember that little dipstick that we used last year? I think I've got it up there in the combine, behind the seat, I think.
Alright. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. I'm not sure exactly where it is.
I think that's where it's at. But anyway, use it to check the grease in the gearboxes. And like, it doesn't take oil; it takes that corn head grease. It's got a grease fitting there on the back side of the gearbox.
Okay.
Other than that, other than freeing it up and lubing it up, I don't think we got much to do. But I should be back here in about a couple hours.
Alright, well, I've got a project.
Well, for some of us here in Crockett County, it won't be very long before the combines start rolling. That field of soybeans is already being hit with paraquat. That same farmer last year, he burned his beans down early, in my opinion, too early. I think he gave up quite a bit of yield, but apparently he was happy with it because he did it again this year and did it even earlier this year than what he did last year. So it won't be long before there's a combine rolling around here. Probably, I'd say probably a week. Those, maybe less. Those beans will be ready to cut. And here we are. We're still a long ways away from thinking about bringing our combine out. Corn's going to be, at least 3 weeks away for us, if not a little more. All right, got a new bolt on there, bushing and everything. So I tell you what, start it up and let your feet down. That way we can get up here on the back side a little easier. All right, here's the drive sprockets right here, and this is the one that's jumped, so we need to move this one back one length or 1 tooth here.
You think it jumped off of the other one too? And it's just bonding like crazy on the back side.
Oh, it's just get it dropped in there?
Yeah, it's definitely that over there.
Oh. Alright.
Let me pick it up and
Alright, good deal. Let's tighten it back up. Alright, we got that all nice and straight. Got the feeder chain properly tensioned. Now to set it for corn, we got to raise this front drum up into the high position to give enough clearance for corn cobs to go up under there. Alright, to do that, we just got to loosen the bolt here. So these blocks under here that's resting on, you're going to have to flip it to where the long side is going to be on top. Yeah. I might have to tap it just a little bit.
There you go.
Top, alongside on top. All right. That's pretty much got the combine done, except for greasing and stuff. We got to put the copper in slow speed. But other than that, she's ready to hook up some corn head. Go shell some corn, I believe. Well, good morning, folks. We got a long day ahead of us today. We are on a 3-state road trip to pick up some stuff. First thing I'm gonna do is head down to middle Mississippi, Quinto, Mississippi, I believe. Pick up some parts from my cotton picker, and then we're gonna cut across Mississippi into Alabama, and then back up into Tennessee, somewhere close to where East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee join to Elora, Tennessee, and see the crop critic. He got a piece of equipment I got to pick up from him. I purchased it from him back this spring, and just been so busy, haven't had a chance to go pick it up. But I think we're going to be needing a little bit this fall, so need to go pick it up and get her on home. So anyway, we got about 3.5 hour drive down to Quinto, Mississippi. We got to go, unfortunately, we got to go through Memphis. Not looking forward to that, but the rest of the drive ought to be pretty quiet and enjoyable. All right, we just made it to the roaring metropolis of Quinto, Mississippi. The only thing they got here is a very, very big cotton gin, and this is where we're gonna get our picker parts at. So we get find out who I need to talk to, get them loaded up, and show you what we got. All right, that's what we just picked up. Let me get the truck and I'll tell you exactly what we're looking at. All right, what we got there in the back of the truck is a bunch of belts for the baler part on my cotton picker there. Now, I told y'all I was getting over to Tennessee Tractor to replace some bearings and stuff, and just looking over some of those belts on the baler part. Some of them have obviously been replaced in the past, but there's several of them on there that are original, and they starting to get dry rotted and cracked or whatever. And the ones that have been replaced, they're not the exact same length as what the original ones are, so I consider just starting over from scratch, just replacing all the belts, and likely I won't ever have to worry about the belts again as long as I own the picker. So but anyway, got to price them at John Deere, and anyway, that picker's got 6 wide belts and 5 narrow belts. And anyway, the narrow belts from John Deere are, I think, $1,050 per belt, and the wide ones are almost $1,300 per belt. So, like, I'd like to have them all new, but man, I can't afford that. So I got to asking online about aftermarket belts, and found some options. Some people had good things to say, other people said not so good things, but anyway, they was running around $800 a belt. But on one of my posts, guy replied to me, hey, I got a bunch of original John Deere belts that we've got in stock, but they won't fit the pickers that we run now, the newer, the CP 770s. Those have different belts on there, so I've got them all here. They still got the part number on them and everything, never been used and always been stored inside. I'll sell them to you for $350 a belt. Needless to say, I took them up on the offer. I'd be a daggum fool not to, but anyway, he had 9 out of the 11 belts that needs, so all I got to do is order 2 new ones from John Deere, and then put these on there, and then all the belts on my baler picker are going to be just like new. Won't have to worry about them at all. Not gonna lie, I was mighty happy to get that lucky to pick these things up. Definitely worth the drive down here to Middle Mississippi to pick them up. So anyway, we got about a 5-hour trip now over to Elora, Tennessee to see the crop critic and pick up that piece of equipment I was telling y'all about. All right, guys, we are loaded up and headed back home. Anyway, what we got on the back there that I bought from Eric Reed back earlier this spring is a 6-shank Case IH inline ripper. I seen this spring that he posted one on Facebook Marketplace, and I ain't never, all I've ever seen is 5-shank rippers and 7-shank rippers. The one I pulled last fall was a 7-shank ripper, but I was pulling on like I think a 380 horsepower tractor, which tractors I got won't pull a 7-shank, but 5-shank's really too small for me. So I really wasn't looking at buying one, and then I seen that he posted that 6-shank. I was like, man, that's exactly what we need right now. Really know how much we'll use it. I know I got plans to try it out this fall on some more fields, because I like what I like what I've seen so far out of the ripping. I think it does have its place, and it will benefit us in several different fields. I'm not going to run it over all my acres, but I do have some areas in mind that I really think it can help benefit. And now that I got my own, and it should be the perfect size for us. I said I couldn't send him a check fast enough to get it. Just I ain't had no time this spring and summer to drive 3.5-4 hours to come pick it up. I did look at buying a new one, just priced, and just kind of curious what they were, and they were I mean, absolutely beyond stupid price, like $30,000 for a 7-shank ripper. $30,000 for a piece of iron. It ain't got no engine, ain't got no electronics, ain't got no hydraulics on it. It's just, all it is a plow. $30,000. It blew my mind. So Eric gave me a real good deal on this. Really appreciative of him doing that. And now we're gonna leave beautiful Elora, Tennessee, make tracks for Humboldt, because I am whooped. This trailer ain't done nothing but give me problems all day long. I think I figured out why Kelly had the problems. I've got some plies on some of these tires that start to separate and kind of making the tires out of round, and with it empty, all that sucker's done is vibrate all the way down to Mississippi and then all the way up to Eric's. Anyway, I changed out one of the tires that was flat spotted with a spare tire. It really didn't help. So as soon as we get home and get this thing off, I'm about to put 4 brand new tires on there. And I'd already gone through the trailer, fixed all the wiring, all the electric brakes and everything it needed. I didn't realize the tires were starting to go bad, but hopefully they'll make it home 200 miles and we can replace them next week. Wish I'd had more time to sit there and film with Eric, but he's in a hurry. It's getting late in the evening. I got a long trip ahead of me. We just want to get the thing loaded and get me on the way. But maybe another time we'll have a chance to catch up on camera. But anyway, Eric, man, I appreciate it. I reckon I'll go ahead and close out this video now. It'll probably be 11:30 before I roll in the driveway after leaving out at 7:30 this morning. I'll be ready for a shower and bed. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one.